I just can't really see how Watford can stop Manchester City and the juggernaut that they are at the moment.
Let's not forget, of course, City did lose to Wigan in the FA Cup final not that long ago. This will be less of a surprise than that.
Well, they've beaten Watford the last 10 meetings, so another win.
Will be so desperate to leave an imprint on Watford, the club that he's been with for such a long time.
Well, the Premier League season may have come to an end, or it's would have been another entertaining campaign, but there's still a massive game to go in England. It is the FA Cup final on Saturday, a 5 p.m. kickoff at Wembley as Manchester City take on Watford. Now, this is a massive game for both of these sides. City, they'll be looking to complete an unprecedented domestic treble. As for Watford, they're looking to lift this trophy for the first time in their history. We have Warren, who is going to try and back Watford for this one. We have Bobbie, who is going for Manchester City. We will, of course, start with Manchester City. Now, they are seen as the favourites to win this one. They've already got the League Cup. They've already got the Premier League. Are they going to make it the FA Cup as well?
I think so. It's difficult to argue otherwise, isn't it? I know Warren's going to attempt to do that over the course of the next few minutes, but Manchester City, the best team in England, in my opinion, probably the best team in Europe as well. I know they went out of the Champions League, but I still think the depth of the squad, and on their day they can beat anyone when they come up against them over the course of 90 minutes. In England, certainly, apart from Liverpool, they've been head and shoulders above everybody else in the Premier League, Watford including. So I just can't really see how Watford can stop Manchester City and the juggernaut that they are at the moment.
Well, City, of course, good form. Bobbie's going for them, but you're going to try and put a case up for Watford going into this.
I do. I've got a sneaky suspicion this could be a bit of an upset, James, because I think Watford have shown already this season that they are capable of beating anybody, I have to say, in the Premier League on their day. It's a one-off game at Wembley. You know, there's so much confidence they'll have got from that semi-final against Wolves, having been 2 goals down, and to come from behind by 2 goals to win 3-2 will have been a huge lift for them. I think the one bonus they've also had over City is they've been safe in the league. They know where they've been in terms of the table for a good few weeks now, pretty much since the semi-final. They've had one eye on this cup final, preparing for that game. City have had a number of other games in between, be it Champions League, tense title battles, of course, as well, in the push for top spot. So I think all in all, that could see Watford gain that little slight edge, which could be crucial on the day. And let's not forget, of course, City did lose to Wigan in the FA Cup final not that long ago. This will be less of a surprise than that.
It will be interesting points from both of these two, but I've got to go with City for this one. That is a point to Bobbie. They just seem to have the bit between the teeth at the moment. So we'll go on to the captains now for both of these sides then. And of course, there's 2 big characters for both of these. You have Troy Deeney for Watford. You have Vincent Kompany for City. We'll start again with City then. Kompany, well, he pretty much gave City the title with that goal he scored in the penultimate game. Is he going to lead them to the FA Cup?
I don't see why not. His comments building up to the FA Cup final, he's spoken about the hunger of this side. He said that they're so motivated to go on and complete this treble. I think you can talk about what he's done previously and the experience he's got at the highest level. He scored big goals in big games, whether it be the end of the season to wrap up a title as he did against Leicester, smashing it in the top corner, or whether it's set pieces. He's so commanding, but he's that leader on the pitch, isn't he? And he's so calm and composed, and I think that's the difference between the two. They're both big characters, but Deeney's got that side to him that he oversteps the mark. The red mist comes in. Think back to Arsenal a few weeks ago with that elbow, and he leaves his side in trouble. I can't remember Vincent Kompany ever putting his side in trouble. He's the one that takes control.
Well, Bobbie's made my point for me there. The red card for Deeney recently. Is he going to be able to keep his emotions in check?
I mean, I think that's the big question. He has to try and keep them in check. He is a very passionate player. He really cares for Watford. You can see that. He's been there for such a long period of time. I think Watford will try and turn this into a physical battle, and if that is the case, then Troy Deeney can get the better of Vincent Kompany. I really do believe that. You know, he's really caused problems for all of the big name centre-halves when there's been some sort of physicality and a battle of that nature. And I think Watford's team overall, certainly size-wise and stature-wise as well, they have got that edge over City in terms of the physicality. And I think Deeney will be so desperate to leave an imprint on Watford, the club that he's been with for such a long time. This could be the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, again, both good arguments, but I'm going to edge towards Watford for this one. I'm going to give it to Deeney, so that is 1-1, level the scores up. So let's finish things off then with the goalkeepers. And, well, two very experienced goalkeepers. You've got Ederson, who's done fantastic for Manchester City, but Aurelio Gomez, it could be his last game for Watford. Again, we'll start with City on this. Ederson's been pretty much perfect this season.
Yeah, Mr. Reliable, isn't he, Ederson? He only missed out on the Golden Glove in the Premier League by one clean sheet. Alisson of Liverpool picked that up. But again, as I said about Kompany, he's just so calm. He never panics in any situation. He starts the moves off from the back. He's a big shot stopper as well. People talk about his game and distribution, but he's got that core of the game that a goalkeeper needs, of being able to save the ball and stop goals, which is obviously the most crucial part. I worry about Gomez down to the fact that he's been in tears after the last two FA Cup matches. Such an emotional day for him. If it comes down to a big decision, a key moment in the match, he might crumble under that pressure, and that's where I really worry for Watford.
Yeah, Warren, will it be a fairy tale ending for Gomez?
Well, we kind of hope so from the Watford perspective, but I mean, I do think the emotion can work in your favour as well. He is going to be so on it to try and end on a high. Imagine winning the FA Cup in your very last game as a professional footballer. I think what I would say is, Ederson, I agree with you, has been excellent through the whole season. But if you look back to that final Premier League game of the season and that Brighton goal where he came flapping at the near post for a corner, Watford are great at set pieces. If their delivery can be on the button, then that will cause Ederson some problems. Gomez has been known in the past, where he's during his time with Tottenham, to the odd ricket, the odd mistake here and there. But I do think he's improved massively since he's been with Watford. And I do think he'll want to go out on a high. And I think he's got every chance of doing it.
This is a tough one because very good arguments. I do like a fairy tale ending, but I'm going to have to go with Ederson for this with Bobbie again. I think he's just the better of the two goalkeepers. Very quickly then, score predictions for the final, Bobbie?
Well, they've beaten Watford the last 10 meetings, so another win, 3-0.
3-0.
Fairy tale ending for the Hornets. I'm going to go 2-1 Watford.
2-1 Watford. There you go. Bobbie going Man City, Warren going for Watford. Who will win the final? Find out Saturday at 5 p.m.